Cooperative management. For today, we will be tackling about the administration and supervision of cooperative. The administration and supervision of cooperatives is democratic. It is more inclined on the aspect and importance of cooperative being supervised effectively. The basic principle of cooperative administration and supervision, according to Barr and Burton 1943, as cited in the book of Gregorio 1961, applies the following principle. First, recognition of contribution of instruction. Second, realization of problems. Third, general encouragement and conservation of contribution. And lastly, organization, evaluation, and coordination of efforts. And the principle came also from Kashyap 2011, is voluntary and open participation, democratic member control, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperative administration. And now we will move on to the powers and functions of officers. First is the Board of Directors. They provide general policy direction and they decide election-related cases involving the election committee or its members. Chairperson. They set the agenda for board meetings in coordination with the other members of the Board of Directors. They issue certificate of non-affiliation with any federation or union. Next is the Vice Chairperson. They basically perform all duties and functions of the chairperson in the absence of the latter. Treasurer. They maintain full and complete records of cash transactions, and they ensure that all cash collections are deposited in the accordance with the policies set by the Board of Directors. The Secretary. They keep an updated and complete registry of all members, prepare and issue share certificate, and they keep copy of treasurer reports and other reports. The Audit Committee. They audit the performance of the cooperative and its various responsibility centers. They monitor the adequacy and the effectiveness of the cooperative's management and control system. The Election Committee. They canvass and certify the result of the election. They implement election rules and guidelines duly approved by the General or Representative Assembly, and they proclaim the winning candidates. The Mediation and Conciliation Committee. They monitor conciliation and mediation programs and processes. They accept and file evaluation report, and they issue the Certificate of Non-Settlement or CNS. The Ethics Committee. They recommend ethical rules and policy to the Board of Directors, and they disseminate, promote, and implement the approved code of governance and ethical standards. The General Manager. They provide and submit to the Board of Directors monthly reports on the status of the cooperative's cooperation. They ensure compliance with all the administrative and other requirements of regulatory bodies. And next, we will move on to the Republic Act number 9520, an act amending the Cooperative Code of the Philippines to be known as the Philippine Cooperative Code of 2008. And we will proceed to Section 5, Articles 52 to 63 of Chapter 5 on Responsibilities, Rights, and Privileges of Cooperatives. The powers and capacities of a registered cooperative. To the exclusive use of its registered name, to amend its article of cooperation in accordance with provision of this Republic Act 9520, to adopt by laws not contrary to law, moral, or public policy, and to amend and repeal the same in accordance with the code. They are also to organize and operate schools in accordance with the Republic Act number 9155. And they are to exercise such other powers granted by the code or as stated in its article of cooperation. These are just some of the powers and the capacities written on the Republic Act 9520. Next is the responsibilities, rights, and privileges of a cooperative under Republic Act number 9520. Every cooperative shall have an official postal address to which all notices and communication shall be sent. And based on Article 52 of Chapter 5, books to be kept open. Every cooperative shall have the following documents ready and accessible to its members, and representatives of the authority for inspection during reasonable office hours and its official address. A copy of this code and all other laws pertaining to cooperatives. B. A copy of regulations of the authority. C. A copy of the articles of cooperation and bylaws of cooperative. D. A register of members. E. The books of the minutes of the meetings of the General Assembly, Board of Directors, and the committees. F. Share books where applicable. G. Financial statements. And H. Such other documents may be prescribed by laws. Section 5, Article 53 of Chapter 5. Reports. Every cooperative shall draw up regular reports of its program of activities, including those in pursuance of their socio-civic undertakings, showing their progress and achievements at the end of every fiscal year. Next, in Article 54 of Chapter 5, Register of Members as prima facie evidence. And in Article 55 of Chapter 5, Probative value of certified copies of entries. And in Article 56 of Chapter 5, Bonding of Accountable Officers. And in Article 57 of Chapter 5, Preference of Claims. Article 58 of Chapter 5, Instrument for Salary or Wage Deduction. And in Article 59, Primary Lien. Article 60 of Chapter 5, Tax Treatment of Cooperatives. Article 61 of Chapter 5, Tax and Other Exemptions. And in Section 5, Article 62 of Chapter 5, Privileges of Cooperatives. Cooperatives registered under this code shall, notwithstanding the provisions of any law to the contrary, be also accorded to the following privileges. The cooperative shall enjoy the privilege, the cooperatives organized among government's employees. Cooperatives rendering special types of services and facilities. In areas where appropriate cooperative exists, the preferential right to supply government institutions and agencies agricultural products produced by their members and shall be granted to the cooperatives concerned. Preferential treatment in the allocation of agricultural inputs and implements shall be granted to the cooperatives by the appropriate government agencies. Cooperative and federations shall have preferential rights in the management of public markets or lease of public market facilities, stalls, or spaces. Cooperatives engage in credits, service, and/or federation shall be entitled to loans, credit lines, rediscounting, and other eligible papers. A public transport service cooperative may be entitled to financing support for the acquisition and or maintenance of land and sea transport equipment, facilities, and parts through the program of the government financial institution. Cooperatives transacting business with the government of the Philippines or any of its political subdivisions shall be exempt from pre-qualification bidding requirements. Cooperatives shall enjoy the privilege of being represented by the provincial or city fiscal or the office of the Solicitor General, free of charge, except when the adverse party is the Republic of the Philippines. Cooperatives organized by faculty members and employees of educational institutions. The appropriate housing agencies and the government financial institution shall create a special window for financing housing projects undertaken by the cooperatives. These are the privileges of cooperatives. Just to sum up everything what we have learned today, we tackled about the administration and supervision of cooperatives, the powers and the functions of the officers under cooperatives, and also the Republic Act number 9520, an act amending the Cooperative Code of the Philippines to be known as Philippine Cooperative Code of 2008. We have learned the powers and capacities of our registered cooperatives, and also the responsibilities, rights, and privileges of a cooperative in Section 5, Article 51 to 62. That's all for today. Thank you for listening.